So once again, hello my dear students. Today it is the second part of sentences, of course, for standard 4, and I am your own Rahul Sir. Today, before beginning the class, I'll give you a quick recap of whatever we studied the last class. In the last class, my dear students, I taught you the meaning of sentence and its requirements as per the definition. And there were three different requirements. The first requirement was group of words. The second requirement was arrangement in proper order. And the third requirement, my dear student, is complete sense. In today's class, in the second lecture of sentence part 2, I'll teach you about the different types of sentences. But before that, I would request you, if you haven't watched my previous video, the introduction of less sentence, please go watch it. So without any further delay, let's start today's lecture. Types of sentence. My dear students, the sentences that we learned is of 4 different types. Type 1 is assertive, which is also known as declarative sentence. Type 2 is imperative sentence. Type 3 is exclamatory sentence. And type 4 is interrogative sentence. Now, most of you might ask me a question, sir, this is the fixed order in which we need to name them. So my answer will be a big no. You can name them in any of the order. I name them in this order. According to me, the first type of sentence is assertive or declarative. The second type is imperative. The third type is exclamatory. The fourth type is interrogative, my dear students. Now we will try to understand about what are assertive or declarative sentence. As we can see on the screen, I have written assertive sentences, which are also known as declarative sentence, are such sentence that is used to pass any kind of information or to declare a fact. Means, the meaning of what I have written is, assertive sentences are such sentence, my dear students, that we use either to pass any kind of information or to declare a kind of fact or information. Means assertive sentence basically are used for 2 different purposes. First, to pass information, and second, to declare a fact. Now I will try to explain both of them with the help of one example each. In the first example, you can see, my dear students, I have written I am an Indian. Now here, I am giving you an information about myself. I am giving you an information about myself, my dear students. Where I have written I am an Indian. This example is showing nothing but a small information about myself. In the second example, I have written the earth revolves around the sun. Everybody knows this. It is a universal truth, my dear students. And hence, this example is declaring a fact. This example is declaring a fact because I have written a universal truth. I have written a universal truth that the earth revolves around the sun. Now, as we understood what actually are assertive sentence, or basically what assertive sentence are used for, now we will try to understand the different type of assertive sentence. The different types of assertive sentence. My dear students, this assertive sentence that we are talking about may be of 2 types. The first I have written is negative, And the second I have written is affirmative. The first I have written is negative, and the second that I have written is affirmative. Now, what is negative or what is assertive? My dear students, assertive sentence or declarative sentence can be both affirmative or negative. Means if you are giving an information or declaring a fact without any negative word, without the use of any negative word, it will come under the category of assertive sentence but affirmative type. And if you are using any negative word for giving us any information or for declaring a fact, it will come under the category of negative sentence. Like I have written, type of sentence that contain negative words like don't, can't, not, etc. are negative sentence. The example that I have written is, I will not go to sleep. I have underlined not, mind you. I will not go to sleep. For affirmative sentence, my dear students, I have written sentences that are free from any kind of negative words are affirmative sentence. And the example that I have written is, I will go to sleep. Now, let's have a quick recap of what we learned now. In today's class, I tried to explain you the types of sentences. I told you that sentences are of 4 different types: assertive or declarative, second imperative sentence, third exclamatory, and fourth interrogative. Assertive sentence, I told you, are used for 2 different things: for declaring a fact or passing any kind of information. And assertive sentence or declarative sentence may be of 2 different types, my dear students. 2 different types. The first is affirmative and the next is negative, my dear students. Affirmative sentences do not contain any negative words, but negative sentence contain negative words. Now we will try to understand the next type of sentence, which is imperative, my dear students. So imperative sentence, sentences that are used for either request, command, or advice come under the category of imperative sentence, my dear students. It means, like assertive sentences were used for 2 purposes: for passing information and for declaring fact. In the same way, imperative sentences are used for 3 different purposes. First, for request, second, for command, and third, my dear students, for giving advice. Now the examples are as under. For request, I have written an example, may I come in. This example is coming under the category of request, my dear students. For command, I have written shut up. This is a command. I am commanding someone and telling him not to talk. Shut up. In the third example, where I have written advice, the example that I have given is, we must exercise daily. Now, one thing to note, my dear student, the advice that I am giving someone of exercising daily, it is not compulsory. It is upon his or her wish whether to pay heed to the command, advice, or not to pay heed. It is up to him or her whether he wants to listen to my advice or not. So, imperative sentences are used for 3 things: command, request, or advice. Now, One thing to note, my dear students, every sentence, all the 4 types of sentences must end with a fixed punctuation mark, my dear students. Must end with a fixed punctuation mark. And the punctuation mark that we will use for the first type and the second type, means for assertive and for imperative, is full stop. Don't ever forget to put a full stop after an assertive sentence and an imperative sentence, my dear students. Because punctuation mark is a must in English grammar. Now, as we understood the first 2 types of sentences, now coming to the third type of sentence where I've written interrogative. Sentences that are used to ask questions come under the category of interrogative sentence. Sentences that come under the category of sentences that basically ask question, they come under the category of interrogative sentence, my dear students. And there are n number of questions that we ask the whole day. One of them I have written, where do you live? And as I told you, any type of sentence must end with a fixed type of punctuation mark, and the punctuation mark that we will use for interrogative sentence is question mark. Whenever you are writing an interrogative type of sentence, don't ever forget to put a question mark, my dear students. And finally, coming to the last type of sentence, which is exclamatory sentence. These type of sentences are used to express strong emotions and feelings. Now, exclamatory sentences are such sentences that are basically used to express any kind of strong emotion and feeling. One example that I have written is, wow, what a beautiful scenery. And in this whole sentence, wow is an exclamatory word. And I have given an exclamation mark. If you can note, I have given an exclamation mark after writing wow, because exclamatory type of sentences end with an exclamation mark. Now I hope I made you everything understand related to sentences, its meaning, its requirement, its types, its uses, and how they end. Now in my next class, I'll try to explain you all the different types with the help of few exercises. Thank you for today, my dear students.